Hey everybody! Welcome back to the Stash Project. Been a couple of minutes, huh? Yeah, it's been since, well, at least looking at my file system here, it's been at least since Halloween. Since I've really done much, um, I would apologize, except that I'm too tired to care. No. Uh, really, it did come down quite literally to a situation where, especially in the last month, it just became basically impossible to get anything accomplished outside of work, family, and sleep. Uh, what was a job for me that occasionally had some overtime became a job that had nothing but overtime, and it became a situation where if I wasn't at work or dealing with my kids, which I know sounds bad, but when in that I mean getting them to school and from school and stuff, dealing with my kids and just generally being with my family and stuff like that, I was asleep. And I literally did not come down into the basement for the entire month of November, with like maybe a couple exceptions. You probably hear the washer and dryer going, laundry basically being the only reason I came down in the basement. So hopefully, at least in the near term, we can get things more back to normal here. I make no grand promises, as life is what life is sometimes. And then towards the end of the month, pretty much after Thanksgiving or around Thanksgiving, you can probably still hear, I had some sort of upper respiratory cold situation, and for the better part of 2.5 weeks, I had no voice. I realize it probably doesn't sound like I have much of one right now, but this is probably the best I've sounded in 10 days. I realized with some of the things that are going on with people in the community, like Cliff and things like that, that a cold is nothing to be really overly concerned about. But on the macro level of my life, it was kind of sucky. Uh, so I'll survive this. Hope Cliff feels better in the future. Going on from that, what we're going to do in this video, this is going to be an Inside the Stash video. And then we're going to, after this, film the December compilation video. I realized that I never did one for November, and for that I actually do apologize. It just got to the term again where just so busy, so busy, so busy that trying to get 5 seconds, it seems, to just tell you what was coming out in the month of November, it just kept getting pushed off later and later, and then it became to the point where I'm starting to look at the Stash Project actual videos, the Stash Report, and it was going to be a situation where I was going to be giving you a compilation video with half of the stuff already being in another video. So I just skipped it in the end. And then once I get done with the compilation video, then we're going to record a regular Stash Report, a Stash Project video that will get you caught up on everything from November, hopefully. Probably do that tomorrow. I've got some stuff to go do tonight outside of work for a change, and so I'm going to go back to sleep because I did work last night, and try to get at least a little bit more rest before I go out tonight. So, what have we achieved here in the terms of hoarding more stuff I didn't need? We got some decals in, of course. Um, and then we have some stuff I bought at a model contest here locally at the beginning of November. And then I have a recent HobbyLink Japan box. Get all this stuff out of the way, mostly, so I can shelve it and whatnot. Because I did some Black Friday shopping for myself. Also for some people in my family, but for myself. And so those things, at least two of those three shipments are on their way from various foreign countries to here. We have a Bai box to ship, and as soon as HobbyLink Japan admits that they have the most recent set of Studio 27 decals for the new AMG GT3 kit from Tamiya, well, not everything, but a bunch of stuff's going to get shipped out of that too. So we need to get this out of the way. So again, indulge your patience for everybody who's been on radio silence for the past month. I've talked to some of you through Facebook and things like that to let people knew I was still alive. It was honestly a situation where I basically couldn't even stay awake at work, let alone do this sort of goofy stuff on top of it. So anyway, let's take a look at what we got here. Enough mumble. On to more happier things. One of the things we picked up and this is from Bai, and I really don't want to take it out of the package because I'm afraid I'm going to put greasy fingerprints on it because I just ate, and I didn't wash my hands first. Because I'm not building anything. Normally if I build something, obviously you wash your hands, but I didn't wash the grease from the pizza off my hands, but be that as it may, I tried not to destroy this. All that was included in this set of decals was the actual decals. Like, somebody lost the original packaging and the decal guide, which isn't a big deal because if you know how the stuff goes, eventually you can figure it out. But this set of decals is from Shunko. This is the 2009 Hasemi Motorsports R35 GTR. So there is that. This car would be the 2008 car we've shown you because it's part of the GTR series that I can do that does not require any body modifications to the actual Tamiya kit because all of those 2008 cars are what are represented by the Tamiya kit to begin with. Is yellow. The 2009 car, which again would require me to do some body mods to sort of update the car, or I could just leave it alone. Nobody besides me would know, but I would know. Was red, so it's kind of a little interesting variation there. And if I get I'll try to get this little grease, little wax paper thing back on it, but we'll wait for that. Do that later, right? I'll bore you with that. Another thing we got from Bai, and this is something I was been trying to get for a little while, is the Shunko Super GT number sheet. This has like the GT300 and the GT500, which is of course, or 500, 300. So this is the GT1 equivalent, the Lexus, the Acura, the GTR, and this is all the GT3 equivalent cars. Why I've been trying to get one of these things is because if you can make any number on here you want, obviously, and I need the 27s in the GT3 class to do those anime Ferrari 360s. I actually need another one of these, or at least or at least these placards off of another one of these because I need to make two 27s. There are enough numbers on here to do two number 27 cars, just not enough placards. And it'll just be handy because there's always some numbers laying around in case I need to do anything like that. Locally, but on eBay, a guy had auctioned off a pair of the Shunko decals for the Audi A4 Revell of Germany DTM kit. These were, let's see, about $15, $20 new. I paid $20 period for both of them. That included shipping. So I grabbed them, even though technically speaking, I only have one A4 kit, and I'd want to build the A4 kit the way that it comes in the box. But I got the Taubach livery for the Audi, which, I like to get the focus here, maybe. Come on, I got get to the background. There we go. Let's say to get the background out of the way, so to focus on this. So there's that one there, and then I also got the highly dirty, evil porn ones, the Playboy sponsored car. So yeah, so there is that. In total, Shunko made 4 sets of 2010-2011 A4 DTM decals. There's also one for Deutsche Post to make like a yellow car, and there's also one for a red car that I cannot remember the sponsorship of right now. That would give you basically, including the 2 cars that Revell did, would give you a total of 6 A4 DTM cars, which is not the entire field of A4s, but it's close. The problem there, of course, is the DTM A4 kits are now made out of some platinum-encrusted, diamond-laden nuclear warhead because they're impossible to find, and when you do find them, they're ridiculously expensive. So I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, the only DTM kit you can really find for a reasonable price anymore are the M3s, which were the last kits that they did. You can still find them around pretty easily, mainly because they were run one last time, basically, I want to say about 2-3 years ago. So there's plenty of them around, especially the black ones. The white ones are a little harder to find. The Martin Tomzik ones, just because they're white and you could do so many other things with them and not have to paint over the black, because there were a number of aftermarket decal sheets for the M3s. But it is what it is in that sense. One last thing I picked up here, and these are a set of decals I picked up from Germany. It's a company that I've been meaning to test the decals from for a while because they have some liveries that I'd like to get. And this is a Decal Doc out of Germany. And this is basically an Alps printed sheet. These are, instead of being silk screen like Studio 27, Shunko, kit decals, things like that, these are Alps printed, I believe, as there does not appear to be any type of divider line, at least with looking at this, in terms of taking the decals and in between the decals, there's no, doesn't appear to be any film, so that probably means that this entire sheet is one big decal, and that means cutting it apart and everything like that. But this is for the new, obviously, AMG GT, representing the Team Zaxpeed mobile. It was in focus further away. That was funny. Car that ran in the Masters GT ADAC series. I got this because, as you'll see in a second, I have one of the AMG GT3 cars already that I picked up before the kit came out in Japan. And I wanted to do a car before the decals came out because, remember, guys, it's been a month since I've talked to you. So there are now decals from Studio 27 for the AMG GT3. There will, of course, just probably be tons and tons of them coming out at different places in the near future. This is designed to fit a slot car. So there's always, of course, the possibility that maybe this won't exactly fit perfectly, but yeah, it'll probably be close enough. But it's, I mean, for an Alps sheet, it's really good registration, really good detail. These smaller decals. If I can get the focus in again, let the background show, and now it's going to be like, nope, sorry, you're screwed. Here we go. I mean, like I said, a lot of these small decals, I mean, they're very, flip it over so they're actually, they're actually not only in focus, but right side up. If I get the focus again. Come on. Dear camera, I would appreciate it if you would focus for Christmas. Thank you. Well, yeah, I guess you get the idea because it doesn't appear that you're going to get to see it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, they're really good registration, really good detail. A lot of Alps decals, when you start looking at them, are they're drawn by people using their computers, printed, homemade prints and stuff like that. This is like a little notch above that. It's still Alps printing, so you still have to be careful with the decals in terms of cutting them out real close to the actual decal, so you don't leave a lot of film. You can't just cut the decal out and throw it in the water in just whatever shape you want to, because you'll end up with a giant clear piece of decal film all around it. It makes this car. Now, the reason why I have not started to build this set of decal sheets is, if you look right here, it's got the 2017 headlights. These headlights, which are like LEDs, are not actually the ones that come with the Tamiya kit straight out of the box. It has the 2016 season and presentation twin beam headlights, not the single beam LED halos. So I believe, based on looking at the kit itself, that at some point in the future there will be a 2017 version of the kit coming out with the different headlights. I plan to do a review of the kit eventually. Right? But when you look at the one sprue that has the wheels and the headlight buckets on it, it's very clear to see that it's sort of an extension to the rest of the runner, and there is a mirror image space on the top of the runner where I believe another set of wheels, probably the same ones, and the different headlight buckets for this single beam, because they both use the same glass, are probably located in the future. It would not surprise me at all, at some point in 2018, maybe not even that far into 2018, we will see a 2017 season or 2018 season car, maybe with an actual livery tie-in. Guys who have the AMG GT kit know that it's just a presentation livery. It's not an actual race livery. There is mention in the instructions for the kit that about the car being used in all different racing series, including Super GT. It would be fantastic, especially if they did the Good Smile Racing car, just because at least the decals would be done professionally. If somebody did the Good Smile Racing car. In 2017, the Good Smile Race team, the anime Hakusuni got. Can't think what the heck the name is. I just mispronounced it there, but the anime car won the GT3 class for Super GT. They have done that in the past with the Z4, and then they ran the the SLS car to no success one season, some success the second season. They had a little success in 2016 with the new car, and then, like I said, this past year, the season that just ended, they won the championship again. So it'd be great to see them do an actual Super GT livery car rather than just a presentation car. They've obviously, with pretty much every race car they've ever done, right, there's always been some sort of decal set for it. Straight from the factory, as it were. As a race car, I believe that this would be the first and only time that they've ever done a presentation car where there's no actual real livery. So, moving on to the kits here. Like I said, we stopped at the one hobby show at the beginning of November. It's our last local show. And obviously, I don't have anything built that I haven't shown already. And I really didn't want to go early because I had to work that day. So it was on the way to work, quite literally, and I snuck in for 10 minutes tops and picked up 3 model kits. Said hi to 2 people and walked back out the door. I got there so late they didn't even charge me admission, so I just basically went shopping. I picked up this, which of course is the new because at this point it's like 3 months old, the 1970 Dodge Charger RT. This is the new kit that is based on the Fast and the Furious tooling. A lot of people seem to think this is based on the 68, 69 tool, which in a technical sense it is. Obviously, it's something, the patterns were followed. But with one thing I'd like to point out, because it ties into this kit, is I see a lot of people going, well, they need to do this or they need to do that, and it's all based on a lot of the 1990s kits, like the Firebird, the 68 Firebird, the 69 Camaros, the 32 Ford, the Chargers. You guys got to remember, those kits, when they were designed back in the 90s, they weren't computerized. There's also 2 ownership groups of Revell ago. So while the kits exist, obviously, and the tooling exists to reissue them, they're going to do the 69 Daytona probably next month because it's not on the December stuff. That doesn't mean that you can instantaneously change that tooling into something else just by waving your magic pixie wand at it. It doesn't work like that. Because the files aren't in 3D, to create new tooling inserts for those tooling, they basically have to create entire new tools. Or try to do what like Round 2 does, where they try to backwards engineer the tooling into something else. Revell's not going to backwards engineer anything. Let's just face the fact that they're not going to do that. They've had the opportunity, they have never done it, and they're probably not going to. When you look at stuff where they've had to update tooling, they've created entire new tools. Like this. This is an entirely new tool, shared with that Fast and the Furious Charger, because the patterns for the 68, 69 Chargers, while still probably somewhere in somebody's drawer, are not applicable to the 3D design that's used to create modern tooling. You see a lot of people, you just take the 68 Firebird and wiggle some magic at it and it'll turn into something else. Well, no, it wouldn't, because you couldn't plug those inserts into the tool. It's not designed to have them, and you would have to do a whole bunch more work actually than it would take to just create a whole new tool. You think about it, the Rat Roaster, the Stacey Davidson 32 Ford, that's a brand new tool. It's not part of the 32 Ford tools from the 1990s, mainly because the changes that had to be done to it were such that the tooling couldn't be modified any further to accommodate it. There's something else recently that got a new tool. Well, of course, the Foose pickup truck. That's its own thing. I still see people saying it's the Revell 55 tool from the 1960s, and I still want to slap every single person that says that. But every now and then, you got to remember, at least from the 1990s, the tools are new. The 68, 69 Chargers are great kits, but you can't just and make something else. It's not like this. This kit, this Charger kit, is in the Fast and Furious kit are in digital format. So any tooling revision you wanted to do, you just click a couple of buttons and you could spit out new tooling inserts that would fit this existing tool. You can't do that with the 1990 stuff. So like I said, new tool, a lot of stuff will look like the stuff and it may fit the stuff, but it's not actually the same stuff. So there's that. Speaking of 1960s tooling, although it's not quite that far back, I also picked this up, the 1975 Datsun annual kit. Round two, it said, "Oh, well, we did a bunch of tooling, stuff to it to reproduce this kit." Basically, looking at the only thing I can see in here, this new tooling is the one set of wheels. The stuff that's on the little Hustler, these sort of vector rims that are on the Hustler, these had to be retooled for the kit. They don't exist anymore, but the custom wheels and the stock wheels, which are I guess over here, those are still in the kit. This actually comes with 3 sets of tires. And it comes with two sets of regular tires. There's a set for the custom wheels, a set for the stock wheels, and then it still has the plastic wheels that this kit came with way back when. We showed you the one kit, I can't remember what it was. I think it's the 280ZX that didn't have the map on the bottom of the box. We said, oh no, they're going to take it off. Well, it's back, so no worries there. Obviously, this, when it gets done, will be done as a bone stock pickup truck to go along with like the Sunnies that I have. That's just cool to have back. This kit was produced 42 years ago, and other than the 76 and the 77 annual, it hasn't been done in that 3-in-1 format in 39 years, so kind of nice to have that back. And then I alluded to it, we got this, which of course is the new AMG GT3 kit. This is a doozy, especially when you compare it to the B-Max B-Max Origin, although not branded, M6. The M6 have been built by several people. They've all managed to grudge build it together. A lot of complaints about fit and finish. We'll see how that goes when we get around to it. Excuse me. But this is definitely a lot better. It's Tamiya. What can you tell? What can you say about Tamiya that hasn't been said 1,000 times over? But the fit and finish with this out of the box, or just off the runners, you could put the front and back ends on this body and have them stay really without too much of a issue. Like they'll just sort of fit on here and almost fit by static. The back bumper not so much with the front bumper. The front bumper sort of hooks in here, but a nice body, nice neutral gray, so you can paint this any color you want to without it being a real big problem. Good detail on the escape hatch on the roof and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to this. Now that there are actually decals out, and this is why we mentioned it before, now there's, Studio 27 has done 2 sets of decals so far for this kit. I wanted to do one in white, just because I wouldn't have to find a specific color, although Gravity is doing a couple of colors for it. Gravity Colors is doing the selenite gray, which is what this is on the box cover. We've talked about before, the Tamiya spray is a little too sparkly for its own good. And they're also doing the orange copper color that the Battlefield Earth livery is in. Now, who's going to do the Battlefield Earth livery? I don't know. Hero Boy is carrying a company called Slot Fabrique that has a set of that decal on order. And unfortunately, looking at their decals, they kind of stuck. Nothing against anybody, but that's just the way. It's just the way of the world. You look at them; the fonts are wrong for a lot of things. The number placards are the wrong shape for several of the kits that they're offering, or the cars that they're offering. It's definitely designed to fit slot cars and not this kit itself. So there's also the sizing issues that be involved with that. I cannot, with any good conscience, recommend it. I can't recommend the decal dock stuff either, because of course I haven't tried to fit that to one of these kits either. But at least that stuff is that stuff is professionally drawn. Might be a little homemade printed in the Alps department, but it's professionally drawn. This is what I was talking about with this tree. This is the chassis, right? Most of the suspension is here. Here's all the uprights and stuff like that. And this is the steering wheel, the steering column, the shifter. These are the pop locks for the thing. The front lip, the spoiler struts, the scuttle panel, stuff like that. But over here are the wheels and tires, right? And see, they're the wheels and tires. The wheels and the headlight buckets. So you see how this sort of comes down off of the runner and is its own little piece down here at the bottom, and it has the 4 wheels, and it has these twin bucket headlights. Well, if you look up here at the top, here's the same divot, right? And there is definitely indication to me anyway, by looking at it, that if you open the gates up, you would have another one up here. So it would not surprise me again to see a 2017 version of this kit come out with this part blanked off and there being, the wheels and the headlights on this side. I hope there is, because this kit, the way it is, unless somebody offers some headlight buckets for it in the future, is kind of pigeonholing you into 2016 season as far as the headlights go, and that's just not gonna work out very well, because we need the other headlights, Tamiya. Dear Tamiya, we need more headlights. Great kit. Hope we get the different headlights. I know we got some stuff from Hobby Link Japan here. Not a whole heck of a lot, just a few things that were aging out of the warehouse, as it were. We got another one of the Skylines that they've been redoing. This is the 1981 C210 Turbo GTES. The body, I'm going to be honest here, the body of this kit doesn't necessarily look a whole heck of a lot like the drawing. I'm not sure which is more correct. The drawing is definitely swoopier than the real car is. That's sort of the danger with these Aoshima kits from the 1970s, or 1980s in that case. It is what it is. Knew that going in. I got two of these. This is the Cedric Gloria 280 Brougham. Obviously, a lot of the differences here are trim and the grill, and they also the taillight area is different. They're not going to show you both taillight issues, but this is the first time this car has come with factory stock wheel covers. The other ones that have been done in the past, because tooling again is from the 1980s, had custom rims that are kind of useless for a factory stock build. This is the reissue of the Hasegawa Ferio Civic, as it would be, the Mugen Civic. This is the Castrol one. This kit is actually molded in metallic blue, the body anyway. The rest of it's in white and black, but the body itself is in metallic blue. It's kind of close to the actual real color of the car, but like most metallic, moldings, there's swirls and stuff, and body lines you have to sand out and stuff like that. It's a really unique color, because this drawing doesn't really show you quite as vivid as the car is in real life. It's not a custom enough color, I think, to really justify calling up Mate and having him do this for me, but it's certainly going to be interesting. I think the mix ratio on this is like light blue, silver, and like pearl or something like that. So kind of an interesting color for that. Let's see here. We got two of these. These are just the sort of GT3 911s. These are for those 2 sets of Shunko decals I got last month. The Food Artist and the hand-cooked ones. And then last but not least, one kit that certainly sold well, actually sold out. I have to do another run of it. Yeah, it certainly seems to be a favorite for everybody, and that is the Liberty Walk R35 GTR. So, got one of these finally. I've had one since it came out. It's been sitting over in Hobby Link Japan. This, there's a really nice set of decals come with this. Give you a couple different options. You probably see through the wax here without me taking it off. Give you a couple different options as far as colors you can paint it and still keep the Liberty Walk Rising Sun logo. It is just, like I said, a regular R35 body. They give you a template in here somewhere. I'm not going to dig it out. I don't think. It's not going to be handy. For cutting the wheel wells out. It's sort of like the Rocket Bunny thing. Let's see here if it's in this or not. Oh, yeah, here it is. Give you a little template here. You can photocopy or just hold the body up to, and it tells you what parts of the chassis and the wheel wells to shave out to get the new wheels to fit, and as well as the over fenders. So not a whole heck of a lot of modification that needs to be done, but just a little bit. So know that going in. It's not pre-cut for your convenience. It is, like I said, like the Toyota 86 Rocket Bunny kits where you had to carve out the wheel wells. You don't have to carve out nearly as much with this as you do with the Rocket Bunny kit, though. So anyway, guys, that is what is going on here in terms of new stuff. Hopefully we'll be on the air a little more regularly going forwards here. We'll see. Had the energy to do this today, so went ahead and did it. So anyway, guys, we'll see you on the other side.